All right, good morning, friend and family. Today, example, we are already create a Java project and a Java class, but we gonna learn a new topic today that is called guess what? Uh, let's call it HashMap. Yeah. So the topic today is gonna be about HashMap. What is HashMap? So HashMap is the same like array list, but the HashMap is only store the data in key and value pair. So let's jump into the syntax of HashMap. We can call just like HashMap that, and let's say we can just do a lowercase HashMap, and then let's call it new HashMap. I believe you guys be familiar with this type of object creation. So remember when we want to create the object of the class, we use class, variable, new, and then the class. So in HashMap, it's also the same thing, but we need to add the data type. So the data type we can add in here. What kind of data type that you want to work on? You have to know what you will be working on to set the data type. If you work with string and string, you have to put the string data type. But if you work with string and integer, you have to put like string and integer, something like that. And also you have to put the data type in here. Let's do the same thing, string and integer. Yep. Okay. So now we have created the syntax of HashMap. Let's see. Let print something out. Okay. So we're gonna print, as you guys know, so control space, and then let's print the variable hash. Sorry. Let's say HashMap, something like that. I have to add one more letter A right here. HashMap. Let's see if anything over there. Run Java. Okay. So now we don't see anything. We only see the curly brace. Why that happened? Okay. Why in we already create HashMap? Why is no data over there? Okay. So the reason is simple. Guess what? Because we don't put. So now we have to use variable called HashMap dot put. So we're gonna put the data over there. Use the first one. Let's say this one. Put string key and integer value. Okay, so now we're gonna use that one. Click enter. And what is the string key? Let's say the string is so good, and the key is okay. The key is integer. No, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's say something like that. Okay, so now we already add one data and we want to print it. Let's see, print this one. Okay, so now you guys can see we have the data. So good 1, 2, 3, and let me add another one. Let's say hashmap.put. So we're gonna use the same things. Okay, remember this one? Only use the first one. Okay, the first one. String key and integer. So let me put another one. What is string key? Let's say Saram, and let's say 2, 3, 4, something like that. And now we're gonna print. Okay, so now you guys can see we have two value, Saram and so good. Okay, this is how we're gonna add. So remember, every time we print, let's just print one more time. Java application, you see Saram and so good. Let me add another person. Let me add, okay, HashMap dot put, still pick the same one, string key and string value. Let add console. Okay, and let add 345, the ID. Okay, so now let's print it and see what is going on. So now when we print something, we see the data types, Sarum, Sukun, and Kosal. You see all have their uh, different key and different value. So what if I want to get only one data type? How do I do it? If I want to get only one data type, we're gonna say still the same thing, uh, hashmap dot get. So we're gonna click the first one, get one object key. So we're gonna click enter and then we're gonna enter object key. What is the object key? If you want to get just Saram, and then I'm getting this Saram. But remember, this don't do anything. We have to print it, right? We have to print this one. So we can just say system dot okay dot out dot okay print n, and then we have to put one parenthesis right here. So now guess what? If we print, remember this one is the first one, right? Okay, now let print and see what happened. So now if I print, you can see the first one. Okay, let me comment this. So this line of code is not gonna work because I already commented. I only want to get a specific value. So now if you want to get a specific value, as you guys can see, we use the method called get and then the object's key and print it. So now you can only see the value 234 that is belong to Sarang. Okay, that's also another way. What if we want to replace? Okay, let me do it again. As you guys know, Sarang has the value. So look at this line. Hashmap.put.serum and the value 234. What if I want to change the value? So if I want to change the value of serum, I'm gonna just say the sorry hashmap.put, oh, not dot out dot put, and then I'm gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna say serum, and then I'm gonna put. So now I'm gonna change the number to 432. Let's see 432, and now I'm gonna print again. I'm gonna print serum again. Let's see what happened. So when I print it, remember this is the first value. Serum 234. Now I do reverse hashmap.put. So it's gonna be 432. And when I print the value now, system.out.println hashmap get serum. So the value is gonna be the update one, but not the new one. So now let's see. Guess what? If I want to replace, we have a method called hashmap.replace control space replace. So now if you guys want to replace, you can see the first method available. So we're gonna pick a string key integer value. So just click enter string key integer value. So now let replace let's say serum to the value, let's say 999, and then we gonna search by index value again. This line of code still printing again. So now let's see, we're gonna print. Let's see what happened. So when we print it, you can see the value of Mr. Serum. Okay, now get update to 999. So that is very cool. Or we can work on another thing. So, and remember, you can work also with Sokun, and you can also do with Kosol too. But I only do with Serum because I don't want to confuse you guys. I only want to use one data type. So let me put a space right here a little bit. It's easy. Okay. So now we already have the data. Let's see some more method that are available. HashMap dot. Let's say uh, they also have a method put if absent. So put if absent. Look at this one. Put if absent. So we're gonna put, let's say, I'm gonna create one more. I'm gonna create etc. something like that, and then I'm gonna put value 888, and then I'm gonna print. Let's see. I'm gonna print system.out.was print ln, and I'm gonna use value this value because I want to print that one. So Control C, and then let me print it right here. Now guess what? We're gonna run it. So now you can see the value of Mr. etc. is 888 and serum is 999. So not to make you guys get confusion, I'm gonna comment this line of code too. So this is pretty helpful. So we're gonna work only with one data type. Okay, so it's gonna be 888. So now we have used the method put, replace, and option, and it also has a method called replace hashmap dot we already use replace. So now we're gonna use get. So what if we want to get only uh, a data from this hash map? How can we do that? Remember? Okay, so now if I uncomment this, I'm gonna uncomment this line of code. If I print this one now, let's see. Let's guess what? How many data type will I get? So now you guys can see we have Saram, Suku, etc. and then Kusal. What if I don't want to print all the value? I want to print only one value. How can I do that? How can I do that if I want to print only one data value? So the same thing, we have a method right here. If I want to print only one data value, I can just call by this value. I use by variable hashmap dot get. So now if we want to get etc., I'm gonna use the key Control C, and then I'm gonna use a Control V right here. So you guys can see I can print. So now we're gonna get the value 8 of 8. So what if I want to remove some of the value? How can I remove some of the value? So example, I want to remove etc. So we're gonna still use HashMap the same thing dot, and then I have a method called remove. So you guys can see, it's many methods available. So I'm gonna say the first one is gonna be remove objects key. Okay. So what is the object key? If I want to remove etc., I just say put the objects key right there. Okay, etc. Okay. And now let's see what's gonna happen if I print it remove or not. Oop, where's go? So it's not gonna print anything. Why? Because we don't uncomment this one. So now after we remove it, this method is the remove. Before we used to see 4 data, now we only see 2 data. Okay, now we have only uh, 3 data. So now another topic coming. How can we iterate or how can we, so let's see, how can we it okay iterate uh, through this hash map? How can we iterate through, let's see, hash map? How can we do that? So there is some condition, that allow us to iterate through the hash map. So we can just do while. We're gonna use while loop. So this is the syntax for while loop, and then we have to do parameterize. You know, parameterize what? Before we can go into while loop, we have to create one more thing they call iterate. In order to iterate, we're gonna use this object variable. So we're gonna copy this one to make it easy, and then we're gonna print that one. Control V for print, and then we have the objects called okay key set or okay not set, but the object is key set. Oh, okay, you guys can see the first one. Just click enter to get that message, and then we still have another one they call a iterator. So you guys can see the first method it's iterator. That is the method. That is the return. That is the data type. So it's gonna be iterate string. So we're gonna click that one and then put a semicolon. Go to beginning of the line. As you guys can see, I showed you earlier. So we have to store in iterator data type, and then we have to put what is the data type string. Let's call this one iterate. Okay, let's say print. Let's say print each, something like that, and then equal to that one. Let's say print each line, something like this. So now we already create the iterate. So now we're gonna use the iterate. Let's say print each line done. It has a method called has next. The first one, and this one is gonna be the data type is gonna be boolean. So we're gonna click the method has next, and inside this one, we're gonna use this one, this variable. Let's see Control C, and then let's do Control V for this one, and that is a method called next. And remember, we have to store this one too. But if you still want to see the data type of this one, now this one not iterate string. So let me delete this. I want to see what is the data type. That's one. Let's see dot method. Okay. So now you can see the data type. This one is string. So we're gonna click enter, and because we know the return type gonna be string, so we're gonna say let's call it to string key. Same thing equal that. So now we have create this variable key. Iterate. It's gonna iterate through the hash map. So it's gonna iterate through all of these. And now we have to compare. So we're gonna use this hash map. The same thing, just control copy. Oh no, control Z. Copy, not cut. So we're gonna copy and control V. So we're gonna have dot get what object key. So the first one is gonna be get object key. What is the object key? It's the key on the top. It's this key right here. So we're gonna say control C. Oh, sorry guy. And then we have to put the semicolon as well. And as you guys know, this one is gonna return string. So we're gonna put it in a string data type, and we're gonna create a variable called value equal to that one. So this one kind of giving an error. Let's see how can we fix it. Oh, okay. So this one is gonna be changed to the integer because the data type is the integer. So now we have the key and we have the value. So now let's print it. What's gonna happen? So now I'm gonna print right here. Let me comment this. If I want to print it, just do so control space, and then we're gonna print. Let print key concatenate with value. Let's see what's gonna happen. Running. Okay. So now this is the way we iterate through. You can see the data it changed. So now it's not one line anymore. You see, first line, second line, and third line. What if we want to make some space? If we want to make some space right here, let's do this. Let's do alright, let's add another plus sign, and then let's add this and give it a space in between. Let's run it again. So now you guys see some space right here. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. That is all for me today. So I just want to show you, how to work with HashMap. Yeah. So that is very cool. Try to practice it a lot of time, just like myself doing it. So you guys will gain, like a deep understanding of what is HashMap. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You have a blessed day.